Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic, man. Hey, thanks for coming on with us. I'm Dave Duenas with my co-host Gabriel Montoya. We've had you on a few times before. Hey, first let me ask you, man. How surprised that you're getting the rematch with Bernard Hopkins?
I'm very surprised. I mean, I didn't think it was going to happen after he pulled the first fight. You know, I'm just happy I'm getting a rematch, and hopefully he'll come to fight this time, and we can do it like real men. I mean, the way everything happened that night, I mean, it was everything seemed like it was superficial, like everything. Like I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that Bernard threw the fight that way. You know, I just couldn't believe the whole night. Just seemed like it was a dream. Like I had to pinch myself. Like, was this real? Like, this was the first time something like this ever happened to me in my career, where an opponent really, like, I mean, even coming up early on in my career, you know, once in a while you're throwing some guys who really don't want to be in there. They're just getting a paycheck. I mean, that means for that happened to me at this stage in my career for somebody like Bernard Hopkins to take a dive like that. I mean, it was surprising to me. Like I said, I felt like it was a dream.
Gabe Montoya with Max Box. I was very convinced you were going to win this thing, and to see it fall apart like that, I'm curious what your thoughts are. I'm leaning towards that there was a pre-existing injury, that when he landed, he kind of hurt it again and looked for his way out.
Yeah, I heard that.
He never wanted the fight in the first place. What do you?
When we went to when the California Commission made the ruling, we went to the ruling, and we were there, and on the tape that we had, we hear Nassim in the background after he hit the floor. You hear Nassim in the background say, and his shoulder was hurt already. You can hear it clearly. I know Nassim for years, and I know his voice. You know, my trainer, he knows his voice, and we hear Nassim in the background say, and the shoulder was hurt already. I don't.
That's on the HBO tape.
Yeah, that's on the HBO tape. We got that. So it didn't play. It didn't in the decision that the California Commission made, though. I mean, they heard it, but they still didn't pay it any mind. They said they weren't interested in that. But it was clearly Nassim's voice. So I mean, it probably was an injury that happened before the fight, but still, at the same time, the way he went about the whole thing was just crazy, bad for the sport.
Wow. What kind of shock you seeing somebody that's obviously a Hall of Fame guy and all the accolades that he's had over the years acting that way? Does it kind of just make you go like, wow, like and see the world in a whole different way?
You know what? Not the world. I don't look at the world in a different way. I look at him in a different way. I look at his camp in a different way because they knew that he was faking. I mean, it's obvious to the whole world. I mean, if anybody, if you have common sense, you could look at that and see that Bernard, he faked the whole thing. I mean, I'm a fighter, I've been in the ring over 32 times. I've stared down 32 fighters, and Bernard. I mean, I know. I look at a guy and tell it when a guy's not into a fight, when he doesn't want to fight, he's not interested. I mean, the night of the fight, his body language showed it all. I mean, the expression on his face. I mean, he really didn't want to be there. And I mean, I just expected him to take his beating like a man and not, to throw the fight. I mean, I didn't expect him to do that. But like I said, that night his whole demeanor was just he didn't want to be there. He was thrown into the ring and he really didn't want to be in that fight.
In the first fight, he was talking a lot, and the one thing that me and Gable caught on and kind of looked at was that anything that he was saying, like, it looked like he was really digging to kind of get underneath the skin, because that's been his niche of things and stuff. And I don't know, when I saw him trying to get at you, it almost looked like you were just like kind of looking at him like, yeah, whatever. But after the fight, after when you saw him, kind of faking the shoulder and pretending that, you exploded. Was that, man, just because of the frustration you had with them from the whole presser and everything?
No, it had nothing to do with that. My frustration came from the fact that we trained so hard for the fight. I knew that night was going to be my night where the whole world got to see that I'm back, and I never lost. I didn't lose a step. The loss to Pascal was just me. I had a bad night. I had a lot of things on my mind, and that was supposed to be my night where I came out. And I beat Bernard, and I wanted to do it in a good fashion. And I just feel like he stripped everything away from me. Like, that night was supposed to be my moment. It was in California Staples Center. Leading up into the fight, we did a lot of interviews, ESPN. ESPN. You know, it was. I mean, honestly, it was the biggest thing biggest fight I've ever been involved in as far as interviews and, you know, doing. I mean, things like that. I mean, I was fighting the executioner, Bernard Hopkins, the legend. So I mean, it was a lot of hype, and you know, the way he threw the fight, you know, it was just man, it was just, and like I said, embarrassing to the sport, and it was embarrassing to itself. And another thing I think is the reason he didn't want to do the face-off for the rematch is, you know, it's hard for a guy to stand up there and know that, you know, you faked something like that. You know, he's going to stare in the eyes of the guy who knew he was faking, the guy who was in the ring with him. I mean, it's a lot of people. Some people think he's playing mind games, but I don't think it's mind games. I mean, I think he really knows that. I think he really knows that. His gig is up. You know.
Wait a minute. So he didn't want to do the face-off for you for any type of promotional. So what was the excuse that he gave you in your camp?
He didn't give us an excuse. He just told straight up, said, "Yo, I'm not doing a face-off. That's it." He said,
just like a reverse psychology. Because the last time he just couldn't get enough of talking shit to you. This time he doesn't want to talk to you at all.
I think on his part, I think he's trying to use reverse psychology, but I mean, little does he know that none of that stuff works with me. It doesn't work with me. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm gonna train hard. I'm gonna do what I've been doing to get in shape and then get prepared for fights. I'm gonna be in shape and I'm gonna come to fight. I mean, so mind games, all that stuff just goes out the window.
Do you think? And I was talking to somebody today because we were discussing this fight and this very part of it. Do you think in a way that he's letting you expend mental energy, and does that even matter? That because you seem more boisterous and talkative and a little angrier this time around, and more comfortable being that.
I mean, I think anybody in my position would be angry and frustrated. I mean, I'm not frustrated with the world. I'm not frustrated with the boxing fans. I'm frustrated with one person. I'm frustrated with Bernard Hopkins because I don't know if he's going to pull that trick again. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if he'll make it through training camp. We might get a phone call 2 weeks before the fight, and Bernard Hopkins heard his shoulder. We heard his shoulder, and that'll be it. But at the end of the day, as long as I prove the point, I mean, I think the world would see that, you know, the first fight he wasn't hurt and that, you know, he just looked for a way out. I mean, I'm hoping that Bernard Hopkins will come to fight this time and come to fight and come to hurt me like I'm coming to hurt him.
You seemed as ready as I remember watching you in that media workout, and you and John Scully seemed so confident and just so locked in with each other. I really thought you were going to stop Hopkins. I mean, how hard was it to just get over the fact that you didn't even really get to do any work at all? I mean, you did one round, you landed a really good shot on him, and that was kind of about it. And everything else, you know, it just happened.
Yeah, believe me, when I say I'm frustrated, man, it was frustrating, man. I mean, it's the hard work. I mean, everything we work for, we train for. I mean, but I'm not going to tell you that we didn't train for all the dirty tactics that he was going to pull, and the fact that possibly that he may have pulled something like that. You know, but I didn't think it would end like that. In the way he did it, I mean, to say that it was his shoulder when he didn't even hit his shoulder, he didn't land on the shoulder. So, and we never seen any MRIs or anything like that, any X-rays, anything like that. So
that bothers me a lot. That we didn't get to see MRIs or X-rays, and I've asked for them, and I just get silence. No one wants to talk about it.
Same thing on our side. We just get silence.
Right now, what do you think? I mean, obviously you can't take much from the first fight other than the way he got out of the fight and the few things that you were able to do. How confident can you be heading into this? Can you build on that first fight at all, or is it just stick with the same game plan?
I think I can build off of this. I mean, I'm building off of it because I never wanted to beat somebody so bad. You know, even going into the first Tarver fight, you know, I wanted to beat Tarver bad. I wanted to shut him up. But at the end of the day, I knew what I was capable of, and I knew what I could do to Tarver if I was on my A game. And that's the thing. That's the same way I feel about this fight. You know, I think I'm a little more. I just want this fight a little more. I never wanted to beat anybody so bad. You know, I want to beat Bernard, and I want to beat him good. And I don't want to settle for nothing less than a knockout.
You know, that first fight, he used the tactic of grabbing you, kind of smothering you up. I mean, you guys obviously knew that was probably going to be the route. But going in now with training camp now or reviewing that, is there going to be some type of adjustment? Because he was kind of getting away with that a lot there, Chad. I mean,
yeah,
do you think that you have to do something a little bit different in order to avoid all the clinching and grabbing?
I mean, we know we have to adjust to all those things. We'll be prepared for that. We know Bernard. We know Bernard. 85% of his game is all dirty tactics. The other 15 he's really a smart fighter, brilliant fighter. He doesn't waste any punches. We know that. We know that the punches that he's gonna commit to, I mean, more than likely he's gonna commit to it and he's gonna want to land it. He's gonna try to hurt me with it. And I learned from, I mean, just the 1-2 headbutt. I mean, that's a combination for him. It's a great combination for him. I've been working for him for years. There's nothing you can really do to prepare for Bernard Hopkins. There's nothing you can do but be in shape. Just because of the fact that I'm the younger fighter, I mean, I should win this fight. I mean, he's 47, I'm 29. But at the end of the day, like I said, Bernard Hopkins, you can never count him out. And Bernard Hopkins, you can never plan for Bernard Hopkins. You can never.
You know, I got to tell you this, man. I can't be mad at Bernard Hopkins because, dude, he woke up a giant. Because I got to tell you, before your other interviews, it was almost like you were asleep. And what I'm hearing right now, you're wide awake. Like, you're really ready. You got me and Gabriel really hyped up for this rematch, man.
I think people just want to hear me more. They want to hear me talking. They want to hear my side of the story. So with the whole situation with this fight, I'm just telling my side of the story. I mean, just the fact that I could scare a legend like Bernard out of the ring, I mean, that says a lot for myself. And, I mean, until that night, I just learned a lot about myself that night. I mean, to be able to scare like somebody like Bernard Hopkins, man, that's big to me.
Well, all I got to say is good for us, bad for Hopkins. You know what I'm saying?
I'm excited. I don't even want to ask you about, normally I'd ask you about future fights or what you want to do, but it's very clear that you have one focus and one focus only, and that's Bernard Hopkins. And I can't wait for the fight. I think there were some people that were critical and they didn't want to see it again and they think it's going to be boring. I disagreed the first time and I disagree this time. I can't wait to see this fight. So I wish you luck with that.
If Bernard, like I said, if Bernard comes to fight, it'll be a great fight. I think the fans will get to see. The fans will get to see, a one legend go out and a new legend come. So I mean, if he comes to fight,
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
All right.
Chad, thanks again, brother, for coming on. It was a pleasure speaking to you. Can't wait for the rematch.
Hey, this is fun. I had a good time. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, brother.
Our pleasure, man. Anytime.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Yep.
There you go. Big bad Chad Dawson. We're not going to call him just bad now. We got to call him Big Bad Chad Dawson. Bernard Hopkins, the executioner, definitely woke up the giant, the monster in Chad Dawson. I mean, what I'm hearing, we've had him on before, and I got to say, it almost sounded like the guy was at a sleepover, You barely got 3 words out of a question out of him. This time around, this was a guy that was willing to communicate with us, and kind of.
Well, I think he's pissed off, and it was interesting because after the hearing, they were all kind of quiet. And I remember trying to get a couple people, and I would talk to John Scully a few times. We'd talk back and forth on like Facebook or whatever or text, but we didn't really go into a full blown like let's do an investigation, let's get crazy. I think they were more focused like, all right, fine, we got to do this again. And when the WBC made that ruling, one of the good things they've done in by the last 10 years, one of the few, when they ordered that rematch, that really set things up for us. It should set things up for them. I like the way he keeps saying he threw the fight.
Bernard normally has an edge getting under the skin in the mind of fighters, and with the first time around, he couldn't do it. This second time around, though, whether or not they believe it's reverse psychology by not doing the face-off, the psychology and getting underneath your skin and in your mind is going to be Big Bad Chad Dawson saying, you threw the fight. That's why we're rematching. You threw that fight. And I got to tell you, I don't care how old you are. When you pick at somebody's pride, it's going to sting. And there's going to be either two things. One is, especially